Okay, this is going to be a pretty short one. I can tell. I don't think I'm going to ramble too much after this video. It's only 2.5 minutes long. Well, I don't know. You never know. Sometimes I get on a roll. Anyway, the reason I'm watching one that's so short is because it's really late. I've been pretty busy, but I did want to get something under my belt tonight so that I could have it up in time for tomorrow. So this is a bit by Whitney Cummings. A week or more ago, maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, I had mentioned something about some recommendations for female comedians or stand-up comics, because I was wanting to, check out different people, sort of diversify, if you will, my lineup of folks that I react to, diversify in the sense of just new and different people. And someone had mentioned a funny comedian to me. I still forget her name. She was the one that came on stage during one of the videos I watched with, his name's Steve Hughes, right? Oh, Lord. The Aussie dude. Anyway, so that gave me the idea to ask for suggestions about maybe some pretty funny female comedians. I'm more drawn to male comedians because to me, they just make me laugh more. But anyway, Whitney Cummings was one of the ones that was recommended. So I was going to go ahead and check out this little bit. It's called Can I Touch It? Men versus Women Lying. I don't know where she's going to go with this, but I guess we'll find out.
I had a guy come at me on social media. He's like, well, all women are just liars. Like, all women. Okay, let's say some of these women are liars. Just for a thought experiment. You have to admit the reaction of men lying and women lying in our culture is very different. You've seen the movie Catch Me If You Can. Great movie. It's about a con artist. He pretends to be a doctor, pretends to be a pilot. So if you're a woman and you lie, you're a monster. If you're a man and you lie, you get a movie made about you, starring Leonardo DiCaprio. What do we get? We got fucking I, Tanya. That's what we got. You have to be in a leotard for anyone to give a shit. I also did research on the guy that movie is based on. He now works at the FBI. They pay him millions of dollars to consult on other con artists. So if you're a man and you lie, that's like a hireable skill. Okay, people don't like when women lie. They get very uncomfortable when women lie. That's my theory about why there's no female magicians.
Are there not?
Ever thought about that shit before?
No, I haven't.
Because when men lie, we're like, whoa, magic. If there was a female magician, after every trick, everyone in the audience would be like, I fucking knew it. What I told you, you cannot trust these bitches. Sneaky bitches. The other generalization I keep hearing is, well, all these women are just gold diggers. Like, okay, fine. Let's even say some of these women are gold diggers. You guys have to admit that you guys were afraid of gold diggers way before this even happened. It's hard for us to hear you guys complain about gold diggers, because when you guys complain about gold diggers, to us, it kind of just sounds like you're bragging. We're like, all right, well, a lot of reason you have all that gold is because you have the advantage of being a guy, especially if you're in the goods and services industry. A lot of reason you have all that money is because we buy a bunch of shit we don't fucking need. So if I'm dating the head of Sephora and I gold dig him, I'm not using him for his money. I'm using it for my money. That is my money. I'm just trying to get that shit back. I feel like you gold digged me first. Bronzer should not be $90. When guys complain about gold diggers, it's tricky because to us, the solution is so obvious. It's like, if you're worried about gold diggers, I have an idea. How about just date women with their own fucking gold? I don't know, maybe stop dating 18-year-olds and need a Kickstarter campaign just to eat dinner. Maybe just date adults with jobs. I don't know.
Will she say more? I don't think so. Okay, I didn't want it to jump. Okay, so I could detect a little bit of her like a sort of a patriarchy narrative type thing when she talked about the industry that the guy is in, and then sort of acting like, because as a woman and she buys things that she doesn't need, that's somehow the guy's fault. No, it's not. I don't know. I mean, I don't know the first thing about this woman. Some of the stuff here that she says is funny, you know. I mean, yeah, I think part of the reason, I don't know exactly why it is. Maybe people do feel a little bit less. They feel more skeptical of a woman that's lying than, like, let's say, maybe a man. And I'm not exactly sure why that is. And I know this doesn't pertain to everybody. Not everybody feels this way, but maybe part of the reason that people feel that way is because of how manipulative and scheming a lot of women can be and have been to people and to men and have destroyed their lives. So maybe that's why. Maybe it's because a lot of women in general have had a very bad history of being very devious. And so you maybe just inherently don't trust that. So I have no idea. It's not because of, you can't just easily explain it away as, well, you're just being sexist. I don't think that's the case. Maybe for some people that is, when they make a generalization, well, all women are liars, that's not true. That's a baseless comment. Yeah, a lot of women are and have been, a lot of men too, but I would no more say that all men are liars than I would agree with the sentiment that all women are liars. I'm just trying to figure out, why is it that people do have this general feeling when maybe when a woman is not being truthful. Yeah, I know she's cherry picking. As far as the whole thing about I, Tonya, well, I haven't seen that movie, but from what I understand, her character is kind of painted in a sympathetic light. So just like the dude from Catch Me If You Can. So I don't know. I might be wrong about I, Tonya. This is just based on stuff that I've read about it. So, and I don't really have a particular interest to see that movie either, because I remember when all that crap happened. And from the moment Nancy Kerrigan was attacked, I always felt like Tonya Harding had something to do with it. And it was just kind of an instinctive feeling I had. And it was based on, I used to watch figure skating, and I had seen Tonya Harding in performances, and, Nancy Kerrigan too, and other skaters and stuff. And I always remembered Tonya Harding. For whatever reason, she stood out to me, and I picked up a little bit about her based on maybe some commentary that was said during some of her routines, or maybe stuff in interviews or articles and things like that. So I sort of, when this thing happened with Nancy Kerrigan, and then the news had reported on it, and then they said that Tonya Harding went on to win that competition, immediately my thought was, oh, I bet she had something to do with that. Just like when I read an article about O.J. Simpson's wife being murdered, and they described O.J. as her estranged husband, I immediately suspected that O.J. had something to do with it, that he killed his wife, his ex-wife, or whatever. So I don't know. Sometimes I just kind of get these instinctive feelings. And so, yeah, I always suspected Tonya Harding. I don't know. I just did. But anyway, that was kind of a tangent. But I've got one other video of hers in my to watch list, and I can't remember what it's. I think it's that one, right? No, it's not. It's, shoot, what one is it? It's kind of short too. I can't remember what it's about. Oh well, I don't know. Maybe it's a short one too. So maybe what I'll do is I will watch that one as well and make this one longer-ish video. I know the point was to try to, it's late. Oh, yeah, it's late. Anyway, if I don't, then this is the end of the video. If I do, then I'm going to move on to the next one, and you'll see the next little bit that I respond to or react to. Okay, guys. Bye. Okay, so I did decide to go ahead and check out the other video of hers that I had in my to watch list. It's not very long, a little bit longer than the other one. This one is 3 minutes 45. It's called Women Have Money. So I'm curious to see, I mean, maybe the first video I saw of her wasn't fair of her. I was picking up a bit of I don't know, the whole patriarchy narrative sort of thing in that first one that I watched, and I'm not really a fan of that type of narrative, especially because I know how it's used to snark against and about men. So I'm curious to check out this one. Let's see what she has to say.
We're living in a fascinating time. We're living in a time where women have money, okay? Which is, do you realize how new that is, right? That's like 30 years old or something, and there's no blueprint for how to operate, and I think it's really messing up the power dynamic. Like, the fact that I can pay my own bills, that's such a big deal for me. I thought that making money was gonna solve all my problems, especially my relationship problems, because when I was in my 20s, I had to date guys that had money because I didn't have any. But now that I make my own money, I felt like it opened up this whole new pool of broke guys.
Okay.
That I couldn't date before, so I've been doing that. They're
Okay.
much nicer. And the last guy I dated, I paid for everything. I paid for trips, I paid for dinners, and now that I've sort of been the man in the relationship, now that I've been in your shoes, I now understand why you guys hate us. It's because we owe you so much fucking money. And something happens psychologically when you start to pay for someone where you start to hate them. You start to hate everything about them. You resent them. You start keeping score of everything they do. One day he came home, he was drinking a coconut water. I was like, coconut water? What are you, the queen of fucking England? I bet you drink out of the tap like a goddamn man. How about that? And then they nag you. They always need something from you. You know, he'd be like, do you want to go to dinner? I'm like, you just ate yesterday.
Oh.
Do you have a tapeworm? What's the problem?
Oh my gosh.
I feel like I now understand why you guys are always so disappointed in us too, because something happens when you start paying for someone where you start to get these high expectations for their behavior. Like as soon as I started paying for him, I started expecting him to like do chores out of nowhere. Like one night we went to dinner, I spent $200 on dinner. The next morning I woke up, I was like, this is weird. It's 8 a.m. and I don't smell eggs. Yeah, chop chop, bitch. Mommy's hungry. It's tricky. I also started noticing all these like unspoken rules that happen with the expectations based on who pays. Like the expectation if the man pays for the woman is that she's gonna have sex with you, right? But when I was paying for the man, the expectation was I am not gonna have sex with you. And we're gonna stay up all night talking about my dreams.
Perfect.
I'm gonna read some horoscopes tonight, bitch. And then I saw like all the insidious, like institutionalized sexism. Like every time we would go to dinner, the waiter would automatically give him the check. And then he would fucking take it. And then when the waiter would leave, he would slide it over to me. I was like, oh, hell no. If you take the check, you're paying. You better find yourself a Groupon real fast. I also get now why people stay in relationships too long, because money makes things stickier. Like I feel like I stayed in that relationship 3 months too long just because I didn't want to get a bad return on my money. Because
Is that why?
dating is such a terrible investment. Which made me think, like, I can't believe we just run around spending money on relationships that we don't know is going to work out. It's a terrible investment. I feel like there should be some kind of insurance in place to protect us. Like, I feel like dating should be like checking into a hotel, okay? You and I are going to start dating. As soon as we start dating, you have to put your credit card down. 3 months later, if you want to break up, I'll be like, all right, well, let's look at your bill. Yeah, Yeah, you owe me $3,200 or you can't fucking leave.
Okay. So, the whole thing about dating and investment and everything. Well, the thing is, that's part of what dating is. It's about like seeing if this person that you're dating is potential forever partner, spouse or whatever. That's the whole point. And I don't know. I kind of had a bit of a brain blip. I kind of sort of lost my train of thought as what I was going to say. I probably should not have watched this so late or so early in the morning. But, as far as that whole thing, I mean, I don't know, it does get to be a little bit of a tricky sort of dynamic when you've got, one partner in the relationship is primarily paying for stuff, whether it's the girl or the guy. And then if things don't go well, you do start to have this mental tally in your mind as far as, what you've outlaid as far as finances and money, and the other person didn't reciprocate either because they couldn't or because they didn't want to or whatever. So, I guess probably the way to avoid something like that is maybe checking out people that are similar to you as far as your income or whatever. Otherwise, you're going to have to you're going to have this balancing act that you have to walk. Now, that's fine if that's what people want to do, but I don't know, to complain about it overly when it's like, well, you kind of sort of knew what you were getting into when you entered the relationship. You knew this person wasn't made of money. And so, what do you think is the natural thing that's going to happen? That this person doesn't have as much money as you. They're not going to be able to pay for the types of things that you do. Another thing you could do in that case is just not be all into money and not go to places where you're going to have a crap ton of money to spend, on things like food or superficial stuff. So I don't know. It's, I mean, relationships are tricky enough, then when you have stuff like money enter into it, which that is actually one of the main things that is an issue for couples, is financial stuff. That's like one of the top, relationship, one of the top causes for breakups in relationship or friction in relationships has to do with finances. So it's like, you would think if you could be a little bit smarter about stuff like that, maybe you could avoid all of those types of problems. But, people are people. They don't always think that far ahead. They don't always think about the potential problems something like that can cause, or they have such stars in their eyes over their partner that they don't anticipate, they just, oh no, it'll be fine. And that's like a fairy tale type thinking, right? Real life isn't like that. So, and then, it ends up that you have a lot of problems along the way. Oh, and then when she mentioned about the waitress giving the ticket to her boyfriend, and she referred to that as institutionalized sexism. I don't know. I don't personally view stuff like that in that, as radical of a thought process. I mean, the reality is that in most situations, the guy is the breadwinner. He's the one who makes more money. This is not the case for all relationships, but still, I believe pretty much statistically, it is the fact that men are the ones that make the most money. And so the waitress giving the check to him and making the assumption that he's the one that's going to pay for it. Well, probably everybody that she has waited on that day, it's been the case that the guy is the one that pays for the bill. Now, maybe that's not the case. Maybe he does the same thing her boyfriend did and takes the check, but then when the waitress walks away, maybe some of them slide it over to the girl, you know. But if that's what she sees, it's natural for her to kind of think that, oh, okay, well, I'm going to give it to him. Now, you could say, well, you shouldn't make those assumptions. That's just sexist to make those assumptions. I don't think that sort of thing is sexist, actually. I don't buy into that whole label of it's sexist to give the guy the check because you think that maybe he's the one that's going to pay for it. To me, that's not sexist. That's just you're just you know, it's the reality of what you see most of the time. So therefore, and that's not saying anything bad about the girl either. It's not why would you get insulted in any way over an innocent, you know, misunderstanding or you know, assumption like that? I don't know. I didn't really buy into that sort of language that she was using. But anyway, I mean, if the waitress had any sort, you know, if she had the time to worry about stuff like that, which she probably doesn't because she's probably busy, and I have no idea if I corrected that camera okay, then maybe she could, you know, lay it down in the middle of the table and then just walk away. But whatever. I don't know. To me, that's not that big of a deal, but that's just me. So some of the stuff that she says in her little her bits, kind of funny, like the facial expressions that she has, but maybe this just isn't her best material. Maybe she's got other material that's more, I don't know. I don't feel like I'm clicking with her very much. You know, it's funny though, because I'd never really knew who she was, but somehow I was looking through my Twitter and somehow I did see a tweet of hers that I had liked a long time ago. And I didn't even remember. I don't even know how that happened because I don't think I follow her on Twitter. Now I feel like I need to go and check, but I don't think I do. But anyway, when I saw her name popping up like that on my Twitter, it kind of sparked a memory in me that I had some of her stuff in my reaction list. So that was one of the reasons that I also decided to check her out tonight. Now I feel like I want to find out a little bit more about her and just see maybe if her material is stuff that I would like to continue to watch, or if there's other women that I want to check out. I do want to check out the girl that the first female comedian that someone had mentioned to me in the Steve Hughes. I think it was it the Live at the Apollo one? Was it that one? I can't remember if it was that one or if it was the Offended one. Anyway, whatever. I think maybe the next female comedian that I check out will be hers because I heard she was just really, really funny. Can't remember her name right now off the top of my head, but if I go back and look, I'll find it. So, okay. Well, I feel like this one wasn't uproariously funny to me. And I don't know if it's just because it's kind of late and I'm not firing on all cylinders right now, or if it's just because I didn't really click with her style of humor, because I feel like I get a little bit prickly when I feel like someone is coming at something with a very strong feminist type of angle, which doesn't really resonate with me very well a lot of times. So I don't know, I might be completely wrong about her with regard to that, but I guess I'll find out. So, okay, well, I think that's it for this one. I'm going to wrap it up because I've got a little bit of editing I have to do, obviously, to get this ready for tomorrow. If I am able to get it ready in time for tomorrow, we'll see. Oh, jeez. Scared the crap out of me. Oh my gosh. That thing is so loud. It really does scare me. Okay, you guys. Bye.